class of 1993, and she will be introduced by Mike Farrar. She will be introduced by Mike Farrar.
No one intervened on behalf
For the ride, very high.
Good afternoon once again from the Gator Racing News tent on the infield at the New York State Fairgrounds. This is the 31st Lap Live. I'm Chris Marquardt coming to you with Rich Post, John Palmas. It's been a long one. I don't know. It's better than Mitch Post, I suppose, John.
It's been a long day.
It's been a long one. Coming to you trackside with the conclusion, a rainy, wet, and somewhat anticlimactic conclusion to the VP Small Engine Fuels 200. Guys, we kind of got into a little bit ago before we ran into the technical problems. And
I think that happens when it's pouring rain and miserable and we're in a tent and we have a lot of electronic equipment sitting in the water.
Yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
And hopefully Jim's not listening to us.
No, he's well aware of the rain. He just is not aware of the situation that we're casting. And he is, however, aware that we have soaked up all of the Finger Lakes One bandwidth through the course of this week. We have exhausted the resources, which kind of makes me feel pretty good because when you do 5 and now 6 shows, you want to make it worth it, and we've done what we can do.
Hey, it's Super Dirt Week, man. That's what you got to expect, and we got to say thanks, and first and foremost, of course, to the people out there listening to us. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage here on the 31st lap, and we got to thank the fans that have hung out here with us. Not so many today, we got a couple over there, but they're the diehards, so to speak, and the friends, basically, and of course, and John's wife, she's got to go wherever he goes. So,
vested interest.
Yeah,
he makes it worth it for her.
Yeah.
Oh.
Damn straight.
So getting into it, obviously, we did that update a little while ago, and
we did the red flag update, and there was nothing else to report after that.
That was that, and we debated on what was the decision was going to be or what was going to change, and the decision to make the finishing order where the cars ran on the track, that was it. Lap 113 was the final lap of the event, which means Brett Hearn is your 2012 Napa Auto Parts Super Dirt Week 41 champion. Matt Shepard comes home in second. Jimmy Phelps was third. Justin Ayers fourth. Pat Ward was fifth. Danny Johnson sixth. Tim McCready seventh. Jeff Strunk eighth. Ninth was Alan Johnson, and Billy Dunn rounded out the top 10. Now, I had a chance to talk with Brett Hearn. Hopefully, I'm going to get everybody's hopes up. Hopefully, he'll be over here in a little bit to come and chat with us and talk about the big victory here at the Moody Mile. 17 years since Brett Hearn got back to victory lane. Now, how many of us would have thought that after what we saw on Friday night in the twin 20s and the triple 20s when he had mechanical problems in both cars?
Well, you know what? I'm not going to really argue that he. Friday night I wasn't paying close enough attention. I was busy trying to work on the set, make room for that trophy, which I believe is coming over with Brett Hearn in a little while, along with his car owner. In terms of what went down Friday, yeah, you're dead on. I didn't think that we were going to be seeing a whole lot out of that 20 car. Turns out, if luck was a little bit different and that fuel would have stretched another mile and a half, he would have been celebrating a sweep per se. He had a real good car until he ran out of gas in the 150 on Saturday, and he was the class of the field today. Never really challenged. Billy Decker got up there and pressed him a little bit a couple times, but never really came under any serious fire. Tim Fuller was able to get up on the top side and ran up into the top 4 or so.
He was there in the top 3, and then
he would have been third until he ran out of gas. And Billy Decker's crew refueled him, but the race never resumed.
Yeah, but as a result of that, let's see where he ended up.
Way down the list.
Yeah, because he's going to get credited for 100. The last car on the lead lap, 25th position.
Ooh.
So I know he was not upset, or not upset, not happy with the decision there. He thought, they said over the radio, to go down pit road that lap, and he thought that the car stayed out one extra lap. As a result, he did not make it on fuel.
Well, it's because someone missed pit road.
Well, that's regardless of whatever the decision was. Tim Fuller went down pit road.
Well, the point is, Brett. If Brett turns down pit road and follows the race car,
right. If he
Fuller follows him, and they all stop on pit road. They don't make the extra lap.
Yeah, so
he doesn't run out of fuel.
Right. Well, who knows? Maybe it runs out on the backstretch instead.
What's up?
There was a concern from some of the teams about who actually followed
Yeah, we talked. We got interaction here. Somebody asked us about the tire change deal. The best analogy I guess we could use. We chatted with Jeff Strunk briefly. Not to quote him, but he had a good comment on that. He goes, "Those guys were planning for a 200 lap race. Everybody that stayed out knew that it was going to rain and it was going to be a 100 lap race, and that was going to be that."
Yeah, you have the final 100 laps to change that tire. You don't have to make it to be
right. That's the thing. If there was a window that said you have to change it between 95 and 105,
right,
or 95 and 110, then everybody that didn't change the tire would be go back. Right. But it's hard to. I understand both arguments. I'm on the side of it. I want to see the controversy and the entertainment value of the whole. They changed the tires, so he gets the win. But I understand why you can't do that.
Oh, you got a whole 100 laps to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on.
And had Dirt come out and said you need to change your right rear tire between lap 95 and lap 105, we would have been all over them and killing them for saying you're taking all of it away from the drivers.
Yeah. And had Dirt Car come out and scratched anybody that hadn't changed the right rear tire, and bumped them down.
Oh, you can't.
You're behind those that have.
You're penalizing guys that strategized for a race that was scheduled for 200 laps.
Right. And the bottom line is no matter what they've decided to do,
somebody's going to be upset.
Somebody's going to be upset. Somebody's going to be happy. I mean, there's going to be
no matter what. No matter if it's a 200 lap race, a 50 lap race, 75 lap race. When we leave here, there's 44 guys that are not happy about their day.
Yeah,
44 guys. It doesn't matter because there's 44 guys that wanted ultimately to have that $50,000 check, and right now there's only one guy that's real happy, big smile on his face, and that's Brett Hearn, because Brett Hearn picked up the victory here as part of Napa Auto Parts Super Dirt Week.
And when that check clears, this is a good win no matter what.
Yeah. When it's in the bank, thank you. It doesn't matter. Especially considering it's been 17 years since he got the win. His 6th victory here in this event. Another guy we got to give credit to, Matt Hearn. This is his 3rd year in a row as the crew chief of the winning car here at Super Dirt Week. He was the crew chief for Stuart Friesen the last couple of years, and now he crew chiefs for his uncle, Brett Hearn. So congrats go out to him as well, picking up his 3rd consecutive win here on the Moody Mile. And I asked him, I have to write the winner's report for Area Auto Racing News, and I always try to talk to the crew chief and the car owner and the driver. And I asked him, I said, what does this one mean, considering it's your uncle? He goes, it's just so different. He goes, you can't describe it. He goes, I love Stewie, he's my best friend, but it's my uncle. It's Brett Hearn. It's indescribable. He couldn't really put it into words.
It's your uncle. It's Brett Hearn, and it's a 17-year drought.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. So incredible job by those guys all weekend long. Yesterday they came up a couple laps short, but they pit a couple more laps at the end of that. We would be talking about today about how he swept the weekend. He had 2 great cars, even today.
And he won a Tio.
Yeah.
For leading halfway. He won a Tio body and frame.
So that works. That's perfect. That's good. So good for him. But I'll let him get into what we talked about. I don't want to. I talked to everybody involved again. I don't want to go into too much detail. I'll let Brett talk about it when he comes over here. But awesome day. All in all, I only saw the big block race because I was doing my STP thing there. But I thought the racing was the best we've seen here in a while in terms of cars.
Oh, hands down.
Guys could pass and do everything else. What do you guys think?
Hands down.
It looked like the top line, had we not dealt with the weather, it looked like the top line was going to be pretty serious business for those guys to get up and really get at it. It kind of looked like it was starting to come around when we got rain.
I don't know. I thought the top group kind of went away once the modified race started. The pro stock and the sportsman races were fantastic.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I
think they kind of burned it all off, and once the modifieds got out there, they were trying to top, and everybody that did they were really having a tough time.
It was real slick up top, but I think
this is turning into Party Central. Look at this. We got Adam Ross or DTD.
It's only because it's raining.
Oh well.
We got the only tent left on tent row here.
So. Wait till they come and tear this down at 6:45.
Yeah.
Then what are we going to do with Brett Hearn?
So we mentioned some of the other things today. I got all the results here. You want to go? I'll run through those to give everybody a recap of the full day. I already did the big block event here from the mile. Now we'll take a look at the Sportsman Championship race, 30 laps. Rocky Warner. How about Rocky?
That was awesome.
Won a Sportsman race last couple of years.
Great race.
This year he picks up the win in the Sportsman Championship here at the Moody Mile. Matthew Desjardins was second. Cody McPherson, Chris Herberson, Jimmy Spellman, your top 5, James Henry, Brad Roos, Martin Peltier, Corey Wheeler, and Brandon Easy will be the top 10 here in the Super Dirt Week Sportsman Championship. And then looking over to the Pro Stock Championship, which, if you're following on Twitter, Craig Ravel, Finish Line Web Design, did a great job tweeting updates from the Pro Stock race. And thanks, Adam. I love you too, Snookums. Pete Stefanski picked up the win, but it was not an easy victory for Pete Stefanski. Joey Ladisser was second. Rocky Warner, so close to making it a three-peat for him. Rock Albin was fourth. Rob Yetman, fifth. Jay Corbin, sixth. Pete Broderson, seventh. Eighth was Stefan.
So Rocky was third? I missed that.
Yes,
Rocky
he was
third.
Rocky was third.
Wow.
Yeah. Pete Stefanski and Joey
I thought he was
Ladisser.
fourth.
Nope, third to Joey Ladisser. And Pete Stefanski again. Pete Stefanski, the win. Congrats to him. Utica Rome Speedway regular. Got a shout out to them. Got to be a homer on that pick. Luke Corning and Jocelyn Wah will be your top 10 there in the Pro Stock Championship here at Super Dirt Week. And what a week! What a week! What a weekend!
I mean, it was a week that was packed. We spent a lot of time on the road trying to make all this stuff happen for everybody at home. If you couldn't make it here, you could follow what was going on pretty much. As soon as the checkers fell, we were getting on the air and telling you what happened. Start way back at Wednesday. Tim McCready picks up the small block win at Rolling Wheels Raceway. Steve Gray gets the Sportsman win. Moving on to Thursday, we were at the Hurricane 100. Billy Decker won that. Ryan Godown, what a great showing for him there. And I really believe he was in a dynamite position if this thing went the distance. He would have had a great car. He was looking plenty fast. He was not laboring the car whatsoever.
It would have been interesting to see, mentioning Godown, how things would have changed for him if that whole deal with the rain wasn't coming. Who else would have came in at that stop? I would assume that everybody would have came in. Everybody. It would have been crazy on pit road.
It would have been a zoo. I mean,
it would have been out of control with that many cars changing the tire at the same time.
And there was a fairly low attrition rate at that point too. We hadn't lost a lot of cars, hadn't had a lot of starting parks either. There was a lot of cars that were going to be hitting pit road at the same time. It might not have been too bad because under yellow you only have the lead lap cars pitting there at the one time, and right. Brett had set a pace that was good enough to set a number of cars a lap down.
Let's look at this. 25 cars were still on the lead lap at the end at that point in the race. When the race was red flagged, there were 25 cars.
So you would have had 25 cars on pit row once.
That's correct.
Well, plus the other dozen that pitted before that.
Right. So you would have had Madhouse.
Yeah.
Madhouse on pit road.
You said you like controversy, Mike. You've already been over in the media center and in the pits. I haven't been over there. Any word on anybody being penalized for speeding?
Well, there was one issue
There's
that came
no
up.
question that Billy Decker
There was no question,
twice.
and there's no question that Billy Decker. Actually, you know what? Let's let Adam Ross hop in here because they had an inside look at this. So, Rich, you want to let Adam hop in here? I don't mean to kick you out every time.
Yeah, but we do.
Chris is always so nice about it, Enjoying
Adam Ross. Is that product sponsorship? Turn the label out.
Yeah. We got to turn labels here. You got to make sure they see it on the camera because we're trying to get major sponsors here.
Would Coors Light be upset to know that I was drinking a Bud Light on your show?
Yeah.
This for John White.
Oh, for John White.
John
Okay.
and Laura.
All right. So you're trying to get money out of them, then, is what you're telling me.
There's nobody in the sport trucking Coors Light that I know of. See? You call John and Laura tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard about us on the show?
Yeah. So, all right. Let's talk about, he brought up Billy Decker speeding on pit road. What happened and what didn't happen?
Well, it was crazy because what we try to do when we're following the race is watch what's going on, but listen to the officials and scan the teams, which it's like having voices in your head. It doesn't always work because you don't. But when I talked to Billy right after this happened, his fuel light came on. Mm-hmm. He ducked into the pits. As soon as he ducked on the pit road, just like Lawback last year, Joe Skutnik comes on the radio, 91, too fast entering the pits. That's a penalty. Billy came in, got his service back on the racetrack, and he repeated it one more time. 91, you were too fast entering the pits, but they never assessed a penalty to Decker.
No.
But when Tim Fuller had his problem, they did assess him a penalty, pitting outside of the pit box.
Because they had to run out and put fuel in it.
Right.
Someone else's
at the
team.
entrance.
Yeah, Decker's team, actually. Wasn't it Decker's team?
It wasn't even his team.
No,
Right.
no,
No, it was Decker's team that
Yeah,
filled
it was
it.
Decker's team that filled it up.
And so that's what happened there. So the only frustration is this is a hard event to officiate. There's a lot going on. You've got a team of officials that have never worked together before. It's not like like the NFL who will bring in people for the Super Bowl that are really good at what they do at different places, but they've done it all year. You're bringing in people who haven't done this type of thing all season long. Because there's nothing about this event that compares to a short track race.
Right.
And I understand that, but
I'm not going to get
clear
short track event of the year last year.
91 was speeding.
Yeah, I'm not going to cut him any slack, especially after last year.
After last year, you cannot.
Yeah.
You have to make the easy calls.
Right.
When you make that call, someone speeding on pit road.
That's it.
I saw it too. He looked to be going pretty damn fast,
Yes,
just
he
like
was.
Lawback did last year.
Yep.
Good. Assess the penalty.
Yep.
You found it. You saw it. you can't let, even though there's 10 things going on at once or more,
Right.
you've still got to.
So where would that put? I mean, Billy Decker finished 19th
He would be the
in the
last
final
car on the lead
rundown.
lap, if that's the
So would
case.
he go back to the last car on the lead lap? Would he go back behind Fuller, or would he be right
He'd
there on
probably
Fuller?
be
Yeah,
ahead
it's-
of him because he was penalized first.
It's a difference of about 6 or 7 spots.
Right.
And forget the money doesn't.
The money doesn't matter
We're
anything.
talking
No.
points.
Right, right.
Which
And
he
so
isn't following points anyway.
right, but still, it's still. You know what? I think the bottom line is this: we all just want to see a fair interpretation of
Yes.
the rules for everybody.
Yes.
Because I know myself, I've argued a million times with officials about that call on Rick Laubach last year because I said, all right, let's talk about this. Who was the safest guy on pit road last year? Rick Laubach. Was he speeding? Sure. If, in your eyes, if
So-
he's speeding,
Yes.
but he was the
He
only
was the only one
car
on pit road.
on
Right.
pit road. So he's safer than the other 40 cars that come down. The pace track comes by at 35. Don't tell me they're going 35 miles an hour out of the pits because we
They're
all
not.
know.
We know they're not.
that it's right.
But
So-
let's say I'm a buttwad and I barely got into the show because I followed the series and I wrapped my crew in bubble wrap. So can
Okay.
I say, oh, I had the safest pit stop because my guys
no,
were wrapped?
no,
in-
no, no. I'm
Mike,
not saying- I'm not
your-
saying that,
Your
but-
argument makes no sense.
It does make
Oh,
sense.
the rules are different if you come in the pits by yourself.
Okay, but now what happened today justifies my argument because you didn't penalize a different guy.
No, it's a different mistake. Yeah, they
No, it's the same infraction. You penalized one, didn't penalize the other.
it's a different infraction. One is
They're
this
both
year to
speeding.
last
Yeah,
year.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
That's
They're
not
both-
comparing.
Yes.
They called it right both times.
They just didn't
It's
enforce
just that
it.
they forgot to assess it this year.
No, they didn't
Right.
forget.
I was.
know.
It didn't matter anyway. They were going to call the race off.
Everybody knew it was coming.
Right.
What part? The
The rain was
Oh,
coming.
I thought you were talking
Well, I
about
mean,
the overlooked
what was
penalty.
it?
No. You knew the rain was going to get here. You knew the
Yeah,
race
anybody.
was going to be short.
I wish I could have seen how many phones were connected to the wireless here. I mean, everybody in the stands was looking at their phone, and they knew the rain was coming. The report was coming. It was coming at 4:00. It was coming. It was a freaking wall of green that was coming towards Syracuse. And the guys, you know what? That's the thing that Mike and I talked about in the stands. The guys that strategized to run 100 laps, credit to them. They used the technology to their advantage.
Yeah.
And have we had the discussion over the right rear tire change rule?
No,
We're getting there. Let's dive right
See,
into that. I mean, that's something that we got to talk about.
See,
Too.
you know what?
I don't think there is a discussion.
Adam, fix that so that we can hear you a little
Yeah,
better. There's some folks.
I feel goofy. Can't keep adjusting the mic, and
Well, you are goofy. That has nothing to do with the
I'm
microphone.
not. Clint's the technical guy.
Yeah.
I talk into the business end.
Right. So no, but my argument was, earlier when we came on, we did a little like 5-minute, 8-minute show there in between during the red when the red flag first came out, and my argument was, you said you had a pit, you had to have a tire after lap 100. Well, the race is after lap 100. The window was there, it was open. Some guys pitted, and it didn't benefit them, but they changed the tires, so technically they followed the rules.
It's your choice to pit when you want to in that last 100.
Here's where you fix this problem, and I've got a good example afterwards. You fix this problem at the driver's meeting. When you look at the weather forecast and see that it can be a factor, you explain at the driver's meeting, look, if the event is race shortened. This conversation came up at the Williamson's fire last night. Bicknell
Really?
Racing Products.
Really?
Then they said, depending on who's in the lead, is how it would get assessed. And they were being a little bit cynical, but
That's how
Sure.
we all are in
Yeah,
racing.
yeah.
No, we're all cynical in a way.
Yeah.
how do you fix the tech problem that happened last year with Stu Freeze?
This year they ripped every fuel cell apart to make sure that everybody was legal.
A, you do a better pre-tech. B, you take post-race inspection out of the public eye.
Right.
So, I mean, okay, there's a problem that's been fixed through a proactive measure.
Right.
They weren't proactive with this right rear tire change because it's a gimmick.
Right.
We can all agree.
I would like to just see, let's just go back to, you do what you got to do. No mandatory stop. You can do whatever you want. If you can go 200 miles on a tank of fuel, go for it.
I'd like to see halftime. I don't want to see...
like the Outlaw 200.
No.
Yeah.
I hate that. Listen, this is Super Dirt Week. It's been a pit stop race since its inception.
Until someone gets killed, it's a pit stop race.
Listen,
and
but when
someone's going to get hurt really, really bad because there's 25 cars on the lead lap. If it was sunny out, we would have had 25 cars ripping on the pit road, and we've all seen it.
But again, we've
Yes,
done
we
it.
have.
How long
Well,
has
we
it
were-
been?
It doesn't make it
Listen,
right.
is this okay? So Adam, I could fall and trip over that cord over there. So should I walk around in a helmet?
You probably will. You
No, but I'm
should.
saying, but should I walk around in a helmet? No, you're making rules up just to make rules up.
No, he's not. Mike,
no,
Mike,
no,
you
no.
and I talked about that when Billy Decker went down pit road in the 55 of Higbee. They were pushing his car down pit road, and
Oh,
he
yeah,
came
it-
in hot.
Right, but he
It's-
was speeding.
Not only...
He was speeding, but I mean,
There was
let's.
a car backwards at the entrance of
Yeah, that was
pit
Dave
road.
Rogers' car. He
yeah.
spun getting out of
That
pit road.
should've- that should- Rip probably should've got a yellow.
Regardless of whether the 91 was or wasn't speeding. Okay, let's say everybody is playing by the rules and everybody comes down pit row at 30. You still have 25 cars coming down pit row at 30 miles an
And
hour.
they're fueling these things. I mean, it's just a recipe for just... Here's my opinion. dirt car did a great job preparing a racetrack that was as slippery as they wanted it to be. Every driver said you could not put the power down. And when I talked to Joe Scott Nicky Wednesday, he said, I want the track to be wide and slippery. Anything else we can live with. They didn't want all the ruts,
right,
but they wanted wide and slippery. We want the cars to slow down because they want to put the racing on the track. And we saw Rocky Warner do it in the Sportsman. It's a race. So now that they can race, and we got guys like Fuller and Larry White and Billy Dunn. God bless Billy Dunn for the show he put on this week. Now that we have those guys, take it off pit road. I don't want to see that. I love pit road. It's carnage. It's like watching a demolition derby.
Hey, I can relate to that.
We know the guys that are working on these race cars. Yeah, well, exactly.
We're not allowed to say those 2 words on this show.
I'm sorry. I would rather do away with pit stops than see that be the excitement of the race.
No, but I like pit stops because this is Super Dirt Week. This isn't like, I'll tell him, put your big boy panties on, okay, and we're coming to Super Dirt Week. And as part of Super Dirt Week, a pit stop is part of it. When you go to Eastern States, a pit stop is part of it. If you want to be successful in those races, all those elements add up, and that's what makes those events special. To me, that makes a difference. We can sit here and say somebody's going to get hurt. You know what? NASCAR. So let's stop pit stops in NASCAR. People get hurt there, too.
Well, I'm going to take your argument, even though I think it's BS.
Dumb. That's fine. You don't have to agree with me. We never agree. That's what makes this fun.
I know. Rick Laubach came in the pits by himself, which made it safer.
Safer, right. I said safer.
Now that they take the track and make it slicker, make it wider, they make it harder to lap cars on. We got more cars on the lead lap. That's more cars on pit road. 2-3 years ago, we wouldn't have had 25 cars come to the pits. We would have had 16.
No, I think we would have because guys were conserving fuel because they were trying to go 130 miles. Look how many guys, the last few years, they'll pit on lap 40 or 50. They're taking that gamble to go 140 whatever laps. That makes it safe, too. When we start adding rules that shouldn't be there, if we just let the guys race and do their thing with the pit stops and everything else, we don't have 25 cars on pit road at the same time.
Yeah. My point is they made the track really racy, and I think they should be commended for that.
Oh, yeah, I agree. The track was awesome.
But some of the other rules, some of the other things that we've come to enjoy at Dirt Week are past their time.
I don't think pit stops is one of them, but we'll agree to disagree on this. You'll have your opinion.
We're going to end up started because I want to know if anybody was penalized.
Yeah, I know. So thanks a lot, John. This is
Tim Fuller was penalized.
Yeah.
Billy Decker was.
Yeah, well, not for speeding, he wasn't.
No, for running out of gas.
Penalized, but not penalized.
My question was for speeding.
Yeah, so
precisely
we answered
about
it.
the night.
And don't worry, about 3 hours from now, you and I will be having this argument again. You know that, right?
I hope I lose my voice.
Yeah, I'm already halfway there, so you're good.
I know, and I'm thankful.
You're hopeful. You're hopeful.
It's Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
I'm thankful that your voice is almost gone.
Yeah, you're a jerk.
You're not alone.
Keep it up, guys. I love all you guys too. I'm fine with it. That's okay. That's okay.
I tell you, I don't know if you had the chance to check it out, but the show that we did last night from Rolling Wheels, Mike was in his glory last night. Man, he had
Chad
Kavanaugh, Paul McMahon, and David Gravel.
And Johnny Gibson.
Johnny Gibson came over to that. He was just, oh my God. It was like he was looking up at I can't even.
Rolling Wheels is a place, and I've been to a few tracks. I haven't been to Knoxville like you have. I've been to Eldora. It's been a lot. Rolling Wheels is a place where you realize these sprint car drivers are something special.
Yeah, because they're hauling the mail.
They are hauling the mail around that
and that's
place.
why, people up here, they always rag on me for going to Williams Grove a lot and Port Royal. But if you go there for a regular show and see what those places are like, you'll have a different respect and appreciation for sprint car racing. I was always one of those guys. I used to argue all the time, sprint cars suck. I don't know what you people are talking about. And then I went to Williams Grove for a regular show and saw handicapping. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I've been a proponent of that for a long time. A regular Friday night show at Bruton Speedway, if you're a modified fan,
is awesome.
You don't see better modified racing than what happens every Friday night for 35 laps.
Somebody brought up a point. What about the All-Star Sprints at Utica Rome?
What about it? I was fine with it. I enjoyed
in
it.
terms of an exhibition of what the sprint car drivers can do.
It's just because the track is slick and everybody wants to hate on Utica Rome being slick. But yeah,
well, I don't.
No,
think
that's what they're doing.
Okay,
that's what I'll assume they do because that's what most people do with Utica Rome.
You got the barriers up. You got the barriers up from today.
You know how much crap I take about Utica Rome? Why is it always so slick? Why? I'm like, because the racing is awesome every week. You can't have 4 guys out there putting the throttle to the wood, or you're not going to have any racing.
The sport's in a difficult spot, right?
Yeah.
It's in a difficult spot because so many people complain about so many things, and it starts to overwhelm you.
Yeah.
But there's not enough people to remind you, hey, this is still pretty freaking good.
Yeah, I mean, I work there every week. I love Utica Rome, and I love the racing there because I get to announce it, and it's awesome.
Hey. I want to clarify something. The
Yeah.
gentleman who brought up Utica Rome is the fan from Utica Rome.
Okay.
He said he loves Utica Rome.
Okay,
He's not,
making
he
sure he
likes
wasn't
it
ripping
slick.
on me.
He likes it slick. He just doesn't care for the announcer.
That's fine. I'm okay with it.
Oh.
Listen, I don't care.
I
honestly,
have something in common.
Yeah, we do. You know what?
That's the.
I'm used to it. I'm a school teacher. All my kids hate me. I'm fine with that.
That's a good. Even that, if people are coming out and they don't enjoy something about the event enough that they want to come out again and see if they like it a little bit less or a little bit more,
Right.
That's still a positive.
Right. I'm okay with it. I mean, it is what it is.
How can you not like the show?
Listen, I don't need people to like me. In this sport, everybody is not going to like you. Adam, you and I both know that. No matter what we do.
The only problem I really have with being disliked is when you're disliked by someone who's never met me.
Yeah.
If someone's met me and they don't like me,
I
clearly I must have given them a reason.
I think you're a butthole, so it works out.
Well, and you've met me, so you have, and I know you have good reason to not like it. That makes perfect sense.
But no, we take our fair share, but it's fun. Again, I didn't mean to jump on somebody, but I always get grief about Utica being slick, this and that. And
No, he wasn't coming down, and now he's upset because I made it sound like.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're
you.
good.
Nice
That's okay.
Chris.
If he likes me, he hates me. Either way, hopefully I'll still be there. If not, it's a race and I get fired and I move on.
Yeah, you've been fired from there like 6 times.
I've been fired from everywhere. It happens, man. If you're doing your job right or wrong, you're going to get fired at some point in racing because that's how this business works.
Pretty much.
In terms of the business and people liking you and not liking you, I have the same thing. If I have given you a reason to not like me, that's fine, and I'd be glad to talk about it. And and you know what? Given the opportunity, I'll probably reiterate it. But if I don't know you and you just flat out don't like me or anything, get a hold of me. That's the thing with the folks that are on this show. We are very, very accessible, first person. You can get a hold of us and you can tell us why you don't like us from California if you want
email
to.
me, call, whatever.
If you need some practice, come work with us at Dirt Track Digest.
Yeah.
Look at you, new people to dislike you that you would have never.
You know what we got to get people to start doing though when they dislike us on the internet? Please hashtag it so we can search and see how many people are talking about our website. Right? I mean, that's the best way to go.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, hashtag
I'm
it.
okay with that.
So if you're hating on us, just hashtag I hate.
Yeah.
Hashtag Dirt Track Digest, and then we're good.
Or hashtag 31st lap.
Yeah, hashtag
exactly.
it. Yeah. So
If they spell your name, you know what I heard today? Did you guys notice?
Go on.
The cheers were louder than the boos for Brett Hearn today.
it was interesting.
Pre-race
Not
and post-race.
I don't know. Pre-race.
I don't know about that. but
I'd argue the pre-race.
Pre-race, the section we were in was not Brett Hearn friendly.
No.
From on the infield.
It was not Brett Hearn friendly.
I'm not so sure about that, but the reception was just as the same as Stewie.
And it's,
Yeah. Stewie got the.
Stewie is
Exactly.
caught, right?
Yeah,
But that's
yeah.
what builds the sport.
Stewie-
No, that makes
Brett.
the sport. That's what makes this race awesome because you get that reaction.
You need the passion.
You
Yeah.
hip check that many popular drivers, you're going to catch up with Brad.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone must have given you that Boston Red Sox hat, or you shop at the thrift store, and I'm okay with that because, like, you clearly do like people that argue with you, and because I mean they're solidly in second last place.
Oh yeah, they suck out loud.
No, they're
Yeah.
in last place.
Yeah,
Done.
there's-
Done.
I was trying to be.
No, don't be nice. You don't have to.
Yeah,
There
don't.
is no place anymore. It's over.
So
But that's what the sport. See, the sport gets so appropriate, and thank your sponsors. Look at you at Jumpin' Jack. Look at you at Syracuse Orange has Boston. That's what the sport needs: someone to like and dislike. But you can't dislike someone who sucks. There's no passion for.
Wait a minute, because you know what?
He makes sense. He makes sense because
that's not because I've got the champion of that cause right here. John absolutely hates Don Slover, and that dude hasn't.
Me. I don't even know who the hell he is.
I was thinking of mentioning his name, but
no, you mentioned that name on this show. I'm not. No, we're done. I'm not spending any time on that. No, we're not. This is Super Dirt Week. We're not going there.
Good grief.
it's kind of like having a dislike on. I'm trying to think of a mid-packer, but see Tim Courier, for example. People may dislike him because he affects guys that they really like. Right? So
Yeah.
Tim Courier, Danny Johnson don't like each other. Okay, I either hate Tim Courier or give some slack. He's screwed with the driver I don't like. But if you don't have that, the sport's going to...
Right. And you need that rivalry, and that was the good thing where I grew up. You have it here, but when I grew up at Fonda Speedway, you had your sections. We've talked about it on here a million times, so I'm not going to go through it. But you had your fans in the different sections. They booed and cheered their favorite drivers. And we mentioned, sprint car racing. If you go to Pennsylvania, you still get that sort of when the Outlaws are there. But you have to go when the Outlaws are there because it's posse versus outlaw, and that is an amazing rivalry. And it is so much fun to be in the stands with 10,000 people that either love the Outlaws or hate the Outlaws. You have somebody sit down in front of you with a Steve Kinzer shoe, they'll get booed right out of that section. You do not want to sit in a posse section where the kids are
and
shit.
as long as it's done in fun.
Oh yeah,
that's
awesome. Yeah, and it's fun.
And that's
fun.
Pete McNell at Merrittville gets booed every week. When he comes to Syracuse, all the people that boo him every week at Merrittville are cheering.
Yeah,
it's
right. Well, it's no different. Bobby Barron here. They cheer him. Fonda Speedway, there's a lot of people that boo him because they're Ronnie Johnson or Stu Friesen or Matty D fans, and they boo him. So it's a different reaction. I'm sure if we take Brett Hearn down to Middletown, we'll have that same 50-50 split. You'll have the 50% that love him, and the 50% that would like to boo him.
But I don't know if it'd be 50-50.
the hatred will get stronger because now he's a winner again.
Yeah, and it's great, and that is great to see.
Brett with this win capped a great year. He picked up track titles at Albany, Saratoga, and Lebanon Valley.
Yeah, and then now, unfortunately, he had the hiccup there in the middle when he was sick, and he couldn't make that Super Dirt Series race. Where we might be talking about that too.
Yeah,
that's true. That could come back to haunt him.
Yeah,
well,
although Shepard did finish second, so
right,
really,
but still,
he really didn't gain much.
But still,
what happened.
Right, but still, you gave up all those points. No, I'm saying you gave up all those points at that race, and that will affect everything else after that.
That he missed, you don't know that he could have won them.
Right.
Someone said to me in the media center, "Do you think this win is tainted for Brett Hearn?" No, because they're still going to put the check in the bank. Brett Hearn is the one guy who's in this for the business. He's going to take the check to the bank without any bit of guilt
he did what he was supposed to do.
He won the race.
That's right.
Everything
else outside of his control.
He showed his strategy when he didn't pit when it got close to 100 or after.
And that was their strategy. I chatted with Matt. They were watching the radar on the phone. That's the amazing thing. Can you imagine, what Super Bowl like 10 years ago when we all didn't have radar on our phone to know that where the rain is it coming, what's going on?
Uncle Huck in the pits with a bum knee, you can tell when his knee starts coming.
So that's what you're worried about. Now everybody's on the phone looking what's going to happen, and announcers as announcers we can't do the old we know we have a window, we're going to do everything we can to get this in when you see a solid line of green for the next 4 hours.
It was they were done.
Yeah, we saw it when we came down here. We knew. That's why we came down here to do a show. We knew that the weather was going to turn and go back. If you're just joining us, Brett Hearn picked up the win here today at Super Dirt Week as part of the Napa Auto Parts Super Dirt Week. Matt Shepard, Jimmy Phelps, Justin Ayers, Pat Ward. That's your top five. Again, 113 laps. Rain shortened event. Rain started falling about lap 80, 85, somewhere in there lightly. And then it got heavier.
It was really noticeable. It really turned the corner on lap 94.
Yeah,
that was
under yellow over the officials' radio because they're saying, guys, what's the weather in 4? Official down in 1. What's the weather here? The pace car, it's getting a bit worse. It's getting a bit. The pace car doesn't want to turn. I've got to push in the pace car. It's getting bad.
That's bad. There's no doubt that's bad.
Be something they stuffed that in the fence, huh?
Seen it done.
Last night at Rolling Wheels, the white flag comes out in one of the modified heats, and the pace car shoots onto the track on the front stretch.
Yeah.
So it was the checker.
Yeah.
And thankfully, someone got on a radio to them to get the heck out of the way.
Wow.
Yeah. It was nothing. That's what happens though when you have a long day like yesterday.
Do I need to get off your mics here? Is there someone? I feel like I'm
hungry.
Well,
we were hoping.
We were thinking that we were going to see Brett.
Brett said he was going to try to. He had
5 after 7. He did have a newspaper interview he had to attend to.
Actually, one of the local news channels was going to interview him.
News channel.
Yeah, so
and they just added another one.
What's that?
Just before we left, they said 6:45. He had another.
Okay, so he's got some things going on over there. So I know that's important.
I mean, we're sitting in a half hour, so we're still doing good. Once we start pushing an hour, once we start getting up there, we start losing people. We're sitting solid. We've got about 50 people hanging out with us at home, and we got everybody here.
And Thanksgiving dinners is
and it's awaiting, and we already started.
Well, we don't want to hold you up.
What do we have?
Don't let the door hit you. I'm going to stand back.
What do we have?
No, don't.
What do we have?
What?
There's this group of campers that Clinton and I happened to park next to them one year.
And now every year he happens to park there again.
They take such good care of it. You're coming over for Thanksgiving dinner. I mean, they cook turkey and it's a full Thanksgiving spread.
Yeah,
holy crap!
It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome.
I might be hungry later.
And that's what. Forget about the racing at Super Dirt Week. That's what it's about. Meeting the people that you park around and new people every year. It's just awesome.
I already know my neighbors.
It's because you're drunk.
No, I park in my driveway. But this is our night though, Adam. This is our traditional entertainment.
Tradition.
Yeah, Sunday nights. It's our Thanksgiving. Not so much in the morning, but tonight will be fun. No golf carts tonight. Just saying. Not yet.
Not yet. That's
and let me tell you this: the lap on the mile is going to be much more difficult to accomplish tonight with this.
Yeah,
we have a tradition of that too.
Yeah,
getting security to chase us off the mile about 3:00 in the morning.
That's brilliant. That's For everybody listening at home, that's not a good idea.
There's security. The authorities are here, so we do it in a supervised.
Yeah, we're supervised.
Yeah.
You guys going to your camper? Yep. I didn't have a camper. Yeah, I'm going to my camper.
Yeah, I took the scenic road.
Whatever gets you through, right?
Yeah. Yep. So, what a day! It was a good day, long day, fun day. But you get. This is the one guy, you didn't get to see any racing yesterday. I don't think he actually sees anything other than what's on the TV in the media center.
The last time I came out of the media center, the place was full. There were cars lined up to be pre-tech. I came out just now, and there's nothing. If it wasn't raining so bad, there'd be crickets chirping.
This was the first race I got to see all week, and I still didn't see a full race.
That's a bit of a bummer. I'll tell you what, though. The Sportsman race today was the new Pro Stock race. Those guys went to town.
It was a very good race. It really was. Rocky was fun to watch.
Rocky was fun. Chris Herbison coming from
11th, I think Rocky did.
Chris Herbison passed 4 cars in one turn and this wasn't on the first lap. This was 4 or 5 laps into the race. He got a run on the high side and he just busted around these cars.
And Rocky was sitting third with a yellow with 3 to go, and he ended up winning.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's impressive.
He drove right around the outside of the first 2.
He's got a knack for this place.
I'm a big Rocky Warner fan. I like his attitude. I enjoy. The energy that comes off that guy is pretty cool.
Yeah, he enjoys winning races.
He has won on Sunday here the last 3 years.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Hey, Rich, come on over here. Did you sit in? You saw the Sportsman race, right?
I saw bits and pieces of it.
All right, well, come here, hop in. I'll tag you in, let you have my seat because you saw more than I did. I was selling STP. So actually, I wasn't selling it. I was getting people to come.
Professional heckler.
Yes, that's what my job was. Professional heckler today.
The Pro Stock race was I look forward to that race every year now for the last year. And at first I really didn't pay a lot of attention because I'm a modified fan. So for years I kind of overlooked it until you finally take notice of it.
Yeah, the Pro Stocks race very well here.
And it is a great race, and it was almost unfortunate that Pete Stefanski got so far out in front the way they did it because those guys that were racing 2nd through 5th were putting on a show.
Yeah. Rocky ran out of car. Rocky was using more real estate on this track.
Oh my God!
Just trying to gather the car in. I mean, I think if Ladouceur could have got around him, he might have been able to play with Pete a little bit.
Yeah, Joey was fast.
It was a lot of fun watching Rocky. It was in the middle stages of that 25 lapper when he would go into turn 3 and he would go on the bottom and he would kind of hang it out and he would go through those and you see the car bouncing and everything as he hit the ruts and he never would miss a beat and it was almost like he was turning the car too tight around the inside but he would pull alongside the door and then he would lose it going down the front stretch and he would stay down there and he would try and it was great because they were running side by side in the corners. I mean, it was just as good as last year.
The only place you could get any white on the track was on the inside because everything on the top side was so slick you couldn't see anything up there.
Exactly.
Pete Stefanski said to me on one of the starts, he says, it's a good thing we all ran into each other because I think we were going to wreck. We needed that to get the cars pointed in the right direction. But that when you've got confidence with the people you're racing with, and I think Stefanski, Ladouceur, Rocky Warner, they can feel pretty good that even though they're racing like crazy and rubbing doors, they understand how to get it done.
Any report on Chris Cunningham? He was in the 29K, the Pro Stock car that wrecked pretty hard.
I haven't heard anything on Cunningham.
There's been
or
nothing.
Steiner.
And yeah, Tony wadded up. I guess he had some signs up for stuff for sale. Is that stuff still for sale?
It's a little cheaper now.
Yeah.
But it's probably still for sale.
It'll buff out. It's fine.
Most of
it. And Tony needed to be helped from his car. I didn't see how that turned out.
That car was gnarly when it came in. It was bad. The car was bad.
That was a tough wreck.
So that answers that. We got our live chat is firing away. People got questions. They're talking about the race. People that were watching on Speed. One person asked, "Are you guys going to be on Speed because they have an hour that they can't fill now?"
I was thinking about that. Like, what do you do?
I thought of that too during the rain.
You show the rerun of Formula One Japan.
I'm thinking they'll probably just give us more interviews or something like that, or they'll cut the broadcast to an hour.
Air that Jack Johnson stuff.
If they give it a full 2 hours, they'll just give you, they'll probably show you more interviews. There's a lot of stuff.
Maybe some Friday light stuff, which I think is used up. I'm done with Friday under the lights. Let's go back to a short track and watch some racing on Friday night.
Yeah, because it's not. It's
I
not.
kind of like it just because it's something different for the week. I mean, those races typically aren't that entertaining day or night. So
that's what I mean.
Yeah, but the race.
The night gives it something.
The race is
special.
irrelevant.
I kind of like it.
I mean,
the novelty
I shouldn't
wore
say
off.
that, but the novelty of having it at night, like you said, is wore off. They could add another satellite show at, I don't know, Weedsport.
I think they got too many of them now. They're trying to do too much.
This is Dirt Week.
There's no such thing as too much.
They're trying to. Do
You know what? I would be okay if they ran those races in the day and take Friday night off. Make Friday night some sort of social event.
Sure.
I'd be absolutely fine with that because, as you say, it's nice to have a bit of a break.
Black tie dinner dance for you, right?
Something like that. Like that, only different.
Did you come up with any information on the whereabouts of Brett when you were over in the pits?
No.
Nothing
yet.
Bummer.
If anyone will fulfill any media obligation, no, Brett's the man.
That's right.
Hey,
I don't doubt that. The problem is we only got so much time, and we already hit the restart button on it once.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we had all sorts of audio problems there for a while. We restarted, everything came back. I don't know why it works, but it works.
As long as it keeps working, we're good.
Yeah.
Mike's still over there. I mean, what was your take on the week as a whole? You know, you're able to see a lot of different stuff from the infield center, but I mean, what was your take on it?
I really enjoy the things that Dirt Car has done right. To me, by far outweigh the complaints people have. When you come into Gate 6, this looks like a big event. The signage they've got on the side of the grandstands, on trucks and trailers, the advertising that they've purchased, it really does a lot to add to the flavor of this week. To me, when people drive to work in Syracuse and they're hooking right around the fairgrounds and you can't help but see it,
They're taking notice.
I see a lot of positive things in that regard, and I think the small staff at Dirt Car, and I'm not really a flag waver. Like, we talked about Joe Skotnicki and the things I think he did wrong today, but I think they need to be commended on the kind of image they're projecting. It's good for all of us.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if we're going to sit here and take them to the woodshed for what we feel is not, you know what I mean? That's not what we think we should be doing. On the flip side of that, you know, to turn them over for hit. What is that?
Is there a porno being filmed in that trailer?
That's
that noise?
That's a rolling party.
Yeah,
I think that's a
one-man party
right there.
we got cameras.
In that regard, I love the effort they've put into this event.
Thank you.
To try to get back on.
It's Thanksgiving, for God's sake.
That's right. One more thing to give thanks for. But corporate sponsorship with Napa and Gander Mountain, and, you know, those are the sort of small signs that people don't want to see because Dirt Car is like the Brett Hearn of racing organizations. It's just so much fun to hate them.
Right.
But there's some things that are pretty cool, and that's what I take from the week. We were down on campers.
You were down on campers.
I didn't see the number of campers here.
But this place Friday, I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it seemed like Friday this place was mobbed.
And Saturday was the opposite.
Saturday
Last night,
was.
which used to be crazy, and probably Rolling Wheels
That's
is a lot
because
to
they're
do with
all at the wheels.
That place was mobbed too.
that. Great show, coldest place on earth last night. I think I saw that on the
I
news.
tore a lot of tickets last night.
What they should have said is.
So all those things I think are so cool. The World of Outlaws, the fact that Super Dirt Week is one of only 3 events all year that has the modifieds, the late models, and the sprint cars. All those little things that to the diehard Super Dirt Week Syracuse person, they don't care. But I think for us as Northeast dirt racing fans, you have to appreciate that, we're bringing it together.
Those satellite shows are what really makes Dirt Week for me. And I saw, I've been back for. There's people that just don't leave here. They come for Syracuse. That's it. And
I
can't understand that because you're missing the best racing. And the actual racing, you're missing that.
The Weed Sport race. I'm not a Weed Sport fan. But the race at Weed Sport was the best modified race I've watched in a long time.
Yeah.
I was not there. Somebody told me the track was the best it had been in.
I've never seen a track like that. Never. I mean, it was racy. Hearn and McCready bouncing off each other, and both of them were happy afterwards. At least, I mean, Hearn was probably ticked off.
Right, but they had fun, and that's what it's all about.
Right. It was a physical race, and they enjoyed it. You're not going to have that after you rub wheels here a couple of times.
Right.
So, I mean, that's it's pretty cool. We got to realize we got a great thing going. What did you take from the week?
I'm very tired. I mean, I was kind of in the same boat as John. I spent a lot of time with this stuff and getting everything up and running, so I didn't see a lot of the racing. What I saw was a lot of people here. I thought the turnout was good. The car count was impressive to me. I mean, I think everybody had the same idea the same year, that year after year we were seeing 48 cars, 50 cars, stuff like that. So pretty much everybody was making the show. And everybody's like, well, if the count's going to be thin, we might better go and try. And we ended up getting, I think the final count was something between 60 and 70 modifieds were here. The small block count was very strong. And then at the same time, the Short Track Super Nationals had something between 60 and 70 cars. So there was a lot of modifieds up and down 81.
You know, the weak spot of the week, as far as car counts go, and this is not what I measure a race on, but some people do, but Brewerton Speedway didn't have a ton of cars for their big race.
No, but to their credit, they had 10 cars from New Egypt Speedway.
Very cool.
How about that?
And that's the sort of thing where I'd like to see a little bit more working together, and I hope that's going to happen. But
were you surprised at all that Pat Ward was introduced as the winner of the Outlaw 200 when he came out under the front stretch during introductions today?
No,
I think it'll come up in the post-race conference call.
You think so?
When people take note, like the people like me that are sitting in the media center or sort of PR. Yeah, you take note of that.
I don't think so, because a guy like him is very well respected. He finally wins a crown jewel that's out there. I think he should be,
I'm not saying whether he should or shouldn't be recognized. I'm not. Yeah. It's not.
I don't think anybody will have a problem with it.
It's not. It's what do we got? We got some folks chiming in.
George Outlaw Photos reminded me the Packer trucks here belong to Gypsum
That's
Express.
Right. Yes, they did.
There's a lot of correlations to make between some of those little things that went down.
That working back and forth thing.
The Outlaw 200 next year might not be so far removed from Super Derby from a sanctioning standpoint.
Jeff Hockman has told us a couple of times on this show that a lot of people don't realize, like fans and people that are on like Dirt Track Digest or Syracuse.com or SJDR or whatever it is, they don't realize how much all these tracks, who may not even be affiliated with Dirt Car, they still all work together. He told us the other day that there were people preparing this track this week that aren't Dirt Car affiliated, but they still work together for one common goal.
Right. Make a good dirt week.
The common good, and just the greater good is something that you've got to work towards, because we're not I don't think the industry is in trouble, but we're not flourishing like it has at some points in time, to where someone can put themselves on an island and do their own thing and kind of shut out the rest of the world.
Right.
I just don't see that.
I think one of my favorite things, now that we're done with Dirt Week, there's a few races left. There's a few things still going on.
Yep.
But this is really the start of the quote silly season, where you start hearing what track is going to be with what sanction, what tire, what you're starting to hear all the rumor that comes out, and I see some foundations being built. I think
some of the 2013 stuff coming together.
Right, yeah.
Did you guys notice what they didn't put out in the press conference when they talked about next year's schedule? Did you guys pay much attention to that with the Friesendale Dirty Jersey 60 down at New Egypt? That's fine and good. The Big Show 5, which you kind of knew that was coming. There was a lot of holes left. Normally they promote more of what's coming up, and to me, it's a good sign that there's a lot of holes in what they promoted. Shows a lot of opportunity for more things to be added down the road.
They haven't closed that. They haven't closed the door on it yet.
I mean, there's so much stuff. There's so many things that are a mystery, or that they're kept under wraps and stuff like that. What was it that you were alluding to that wasn't? Was it just simply the holes, or was there something specific that was missing?
What they're going to add to the schedule?
Mm-hmm.
Will we see Brewerton Speedway, Fulton Speedway? Are there things that are coming that
it wasn't,
they can't announce
I understand
officially?
what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying. I don't think there's anything shady going on. Just that.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that there's anything shady going on. I'm just thinking, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking that there wasn't a whole lot brought up about some of the different scenarios, like with Knoxville and the different tire deals, and the area has had a lot of activity after races this week with different shakedowns and tire tests and stuff like that. And there's other rumors going about different speedways and what tires they might select, and they are, some of them are pretty intimate with the dirt fold and what those decisions might be. So I thought maybe you were heading that direction with it.
The only direction I mean is that there's a lot of discussion ongoing.
It's not the whole schedule.
Which means there's right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of holes left, so a lot of things haven't been ironed out.
Since you brought up, go ahead, Rich.
They're still working. I think seeing the foundations with the few connections, you're making huge leaps of faith at this point. But this is where the faith in 2013 is starting to roll for me, and that like I was saying, that's the fun part for me is now let's see with those holes that are left. Let's see if we can have that Hurricane 100 back in a Dirt Week promoted spot.
I miss going to Burton, but I go to Rolling Wheels because to me, if we're here to cover Super Dirt Week, it's the World Outlaws late models. You kind of got to go that direction, right? In a small block series race. But I miss going to Burton.
If we could back up a little bit, you brought up the schedule. We haven't really talked about it this week. The only thing we've talked about was the announcement about the.
We talked about the. I mean that was the biggest news.
So you are saying that they have released a 2013 tentative preliminary schedule?
No, what they do at the press conferences, they'll put out highlights. Like years ago when they went to
Poor John can't get to the stuff because he's busy working gates at different racetracks.
Yeah, sorry, John. I forget some of us are busier than the rest. Just hang around the media center waiting for free lunch.
So what did they tell you?
The Dirty Jersey 60 down at New Egypt.
Yep.
The Big Show 5, which has never been announced this early, and Brett was excited to put that out. Is going to be at Albany, Saratoga.
Yeah, they've announced the dates and some of the.
I think they announced a Drummond show in September. But what I was getting at was they didn't announce like a 20, 30 race schedule.
Well, yeah, I mean, traditionally we see a good solid chunk of the schedule hashed out by now, and that was not released, and that's kind of the point that you're making. Is there's still a lot of information to come, which could very well and most likely will lead to good things.
Well, the reason I brought it up is then my next question is, did they say anything about Michigan?
It didn't get brought up.
Okay.
There's talk about hitting at least one track in Ohio if they go back to Michigan.
And you've got to realize these things don't happen because the people at Dirt are throwing a dart against a wall that has a map on it, thinking, "Hey, this might work."
There's people looking for this.
So, exactly.
Yeah, the track owner in Michigan wanted.
That's right. So they're not.
He came to them.
Right, and they've had requests from different parts of the country that are pretty prominent, and what they have to weigh is how many teams can we get to go to these events? How many can legitimately afford to go?
Yes.
So how do because they want to make sure they deliver the product that these promoters want. But where people say, "Well, what a stupid idea that was." Well, if you get invited to go party, you got to try it.
Well, I mean, the modifieds are part of dirt car, just like the World of Outlaw sprint cars and just like World of Outlaws late models. And if you don't continue to expand that brand, then it's going to remain a regional series. It's going to remain a Northeast series. And by taking the gamble and going to Michigan, and in the past, the tour's gone. They go to Florida regularly. They go to Canada. They've done races in Ohio. They've done races in Louisiana. They've gone to Texas, I believe. They've gone to Vermont in the past. They need to continue to try to expand the brand so that the modified series, if they wanted to do what was initially set out to do, if they want the modifieds to flourish and become on that same par, they need to take these gambles. 13 cars went out there. I think it was something like 12 started the feature when they went out there to Michigan, and the promoter was excited because it gave them a taste. It didn't give them the whole thing. It didn't give them a full night. It didn't have 40 cars or anything like that. It was exactly what the promoter wanted, to get the fans to want it back, and the promoter has already said that they wanted to come.
And who were the drivers that got into today's 200 because they support the series?
Tyler Seary.
Tyler Seary got in. I think
Rich Scalata. No, he drove his way in.
I think Scalata drove his way in.
The first four starters in the non-qualifiers.
Tyler got in. Yeah,
Tyler Vinny Vitale.
Only one didn't make it. I believe was Seary. Courier was one. He raced his way in.
So here's your reward.
The car that didn't start couldn't run anyway. It broke. I thought. I was under the impression that car broke.
Which
out there in
Vitale or Darwin Green or
I don't know. I think I'm still stuck in Michigan.
Could be. I'm sorry. I thought you meant today.
Wasn't Vinny in the non-qualifiers race? He was, right?
Yeah. Vinny started on the pole.
Yeah, he drove in. He
raced
qualified.
His way in, right?
He qualified.
Him and Courier, and there was a third one.
But the point they had the top four. What he's getting at is they had a points provisional.
Yeah, the only one he used to was Tyler Seary.
To all of the series races and supported that series all year long.
And that's a pretty big deal. Because to come here and not get to race is
if it wasn't for that, Tyler Seary goes home.
Right, and that's so you really want to feed that monster that is your series that ties in with your premier event. So that's kind of how it all goes together. It's when you're one hand, what's that freaking expression?
One hand washes the other.
Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that. That's
Something along those lines.
I had a brain fart there.
Yeah. And
Which one washes first?
And for Tyler
right
Siri, Tyler lost a motor. And, guys in the pits helped him out. I talked to him a little bit, and he said he's just going to go out and take 5 laps and call it what it is. But he had the ability to do that, and that's a paycheck for him. I mean,
absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what as a driver you'd think you'd want out of your sanctioning body. If you're going to follow this series all year long and it gets down to this race, I'm not in.
Yeah.
You get the point provisional.
One of your fans has jumped on the chat here, and they want to know, in your opinion, what's it going to take for Dirt and ROC to come back together?
One of your
That's
fans.
Come back together. They've never been together.
It's the Adam.
ROC and Dirt won't come together.
They've never been together. Why would they come? There's no such thing as coming back.
The trouble with social media and forums and the facts rarely make a big difference.
We don't
to the
want
discussion.
them one. We want them separate.
They have to be separate.
Yeah,
they really do.
It's
I mean,
two
that's
different series. That's what
it's
we
good
like.
it's healthy to have some competition, but for people to say that ROC is on par necessarily with Dirt Car, I don't agree with that. They put on shows. They're a little more sports entertainment in that they'll rewrite rules or change their interpretation of rules to make sure that they get cars at particular events. And I don't think that's wrong. But I think as Dirt Car being the top of the heap there, you get a little bit more, you know what you're getting into when you go racing.
Sure.
I like both series because each series you get 2 different groups of drivers to
Without
watch.
ROC and outlaw type events, we wouldn't all be getting as excited about Mike Mahaney or Danny Tyler or
Great examples.
Drivers that can really
Jeff
get
Strunk
it done.
last year won like 3 ROC races.
Absolutely, and that's something to get excited about. And if Jimmy Phelps was there in the Troyer House car and Brett Hearn was there, and maybe or maybe not, they would have won those races. But it gives them a bit of a leg up. So you need all of it. And I'm a big fan of some of this young talent that's being harvested in series like that.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's been a while since we've seen some legitimate young talent come into the ranks.
Mike Mahaney, a lot of people know I'm a big fan of Mike Mahaney, but this is a kid that's doing it on hard work and intelligence. This kid is too smart for his own good, but he's doing his own shock work. I mean, he doesn't go out there and outspend these guys. He's going out there and doing his thing, racing hard. I've never heard anyone say, "Oh, that Mike Mahaney, he's a hack," or he roughs his way to the front. The kid's just a likable kid, a good-looking young man, which, like it or not, helps. Stuart Friesen, similar example. These are the young guys you really need to help boost the sport, because Danny Johnson is not going to look good on a box of Wheaties.
Right.
I'm not going to argue that
and
at all.
The colors will go together. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
With any luck, we'll never know.
Yeah. Well said.
But that's where you really need to start thinking, and hopefully it'll all come about. You need this young talent to be harvested and nurtured and work. I'd like to see Brett Hearn take someone under his wing, because the day will come when Brett's not racing anymore, and hopefully he still stays in the sport and is able to keep some corporate connection.
A guy like Brett, he's built a really solid career. Not only as a driver, but as is the leading corporate, type
He's the
guy.
corporate jet.
He's earned that title, and he's kind of led that way. And there's a handful of guys, young guys, that I see now that could do that. And of course, and now Stuart Friesen is kind of
Stuart's on the verge of that.
He's kind of stepping up to take that understanding and learn what's going on and
understanding what it takes to be able to retire someday, right?
Exactly.
At one point, you're a kid. All you want to do is race. And I hope, I've not seen Brett Hearn's bank account, but I hope he's in a position to where when he's done racing or feels it's time for him to walk away, that he can retire. And that's been the problem in racing for a long time.
Sure.
Is people not being able to quit because they can't afford to.
Yeah, he's $50,000 richer today.
I know a very well-known driver that went through that scenario.
I mean, if you're a racing fan, Jack Hewitt, here's a guy who raced the Indy 500, and he's not doing all that well financially. And I'd like to see Stu Friesen kind of take on that, get into the corporate scene, and hopefully bring in some sponsors and be able to make himself comfortable, because he is the show. I mean, this kid's the thing we all need to be successful.
Yeah, he's the real deal, no question.
Well, we're sitting right around an hour. We still got 45 people hanging out with us. We're hitting right at the peak at what we're going to be able to sustain there.
Hold on, our fella.
with the mobile stuff. Any word on where we might be with Brett?
No. Again, TV interview. Obviously, that comes first. You know how that goes.
Yeah, we're last on the totem pole.
Yeah, that's okay. We're just internet radio. We're not television. But hey, it happens. What are you going to do?
It's also not a very nice night for a walk.
No, it's not. It's not a nice night. And I know there's a lot of guys around here that want to go get to partying too.
Although he has to probably come through here eventually. Anyway, I'm imagining his motorhome is over here.
Let's just move the tent right outside his bus.
His motorhome.
Can we do that?
Yeah,
we got enough people around.
You know what we'll do? We'll set it up live from Brett Hearn's motorhome.
Yeah, right inside.
Surprise! We're in his bedroom. He doesn't know it yet. Bet the number grows from 45.
So, but
note came in from that same guy. Just said that boxing gave his first pension to AA former champion. Interesting.
I don't know.
What did you say? Pension after he retires. He's still got some form of residual income.
Okay.
From the boxing organization. They're wondering if racing is going to go the same way, and
it's not that, like, this isn't a grassroots problem. NASCAR. Former NASCAR drivers in the same boat.
Yeah, they don't have anything. Have we recapped the results of today?
When they're doing well, they create a very wealthy lifestyle.
The results
and then it's hard to maintain when you're the money. That money isn't coming anymore.
You look at someone like Jerry Nadeau, who unfortunately injury shortened his career, and he's left without, like, Ricky Craven is the other side of that coin, where injury cut his career short.
Right.
Thankfully,
he's got a TV gig. He was able to help himself.
Yeah,
and that
Steve Park and Ernie Irvin, same boat.
Yeah,
and there's was Phil Parsons. Phil Parsons got hurt.
Phil's doing okay.
Yeah, he's got a lot of
TV gig. I think he owns a piece.
He's doing okay. I mean, he's sort of in the same boat as
this thing has come full circle since I left. I don't even know how we got to where you guys are at right now.
Well, we're talking about
I'm like, let a new co-host fill you in.
I was like, what just happened? Last thing I know, I was talking about Brett Hearn winning this race. Now we're talking about retirement plans. And do I need a 401k to be here? I mean, I don't know.
Thanks for coming back, Mike.
Okay, Adam brought up the point about young
drivers. I heard
being a young driver, he hopes that looks ahead and plans his future out. Similar to like what Brett Hearn has always done.
Bob McCready did a good job of that too. But if Brett Hearn hung up the
helmet today, he'd be fine.
Right.
There's a lot of drivers who wouldn't be. Namely, a certain driver that we all know really well had to keep racing into very latter in his career because he didn't have anything else.
Right. Let's talk about the results again. I just want to recap that for those that just joined us. There's some people out there that just kind of logging on here late. Brett Hearn picked up the win. Matt Shepard, Jimmy Phelps, Justin Ayers, Pat Ward, the top 5. Danny Johnson, Tim McCready, Jeff Strunk, Alan Johnson, Billy Dunn, the top 10. Only 113 laps were run in the main event here tonight due to Mother Nature.
Good old Mother Nature.
Sucking. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. You know what? What was that award that we gave Mother Nature the one week?
I don't remember.
Oh, again, Jerk of the Week award goes to Mother Nature.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't what I was thinking of.
No, I'm not going to use that word, though. I'm going to be politically correct and not swear.
There's a number of young people who come out to Syracuse.
No.
And they're of drinking age even. And they just pack shorts and short sleeves. Like, there's people who haven't experienced a real Super Dirt Week. Even this one doesn't come close to what we have lived through if you go back 10, 15 years.
Not when you're snowing and you're up here in your parka and you're shivering. You're so cold in that grandstand.
Remember the year that we were covering the race? The only place to sit was like at the absolute top of the grandstands, and we couldn't do anything because the ink in the pens was freezing.
Yeah, because the wind's blowing through
the ink in your pencil froze?
Ink in the pens were freezing.
I heard pencil.
Freaking Canadians.
Well, it's the exchange rate.
Got lost in the conversion.
Yeah, the exchange rate there. Yeah, I got lost there. So, but good day here at the Moody Mile.
We got all the races in. I I mean,
You know,
That was
good or bad,
that's-
everything that had to be run got run.
When you look at it past Super Dirt Weeks and stuff like that, the thing is almost always they get everything in some way, shape, or form.
Yep, and that's the key. You can't.
They
be
never
upset with
leave
that.
you. They never make everybody have to come back, stay an extra day, take the extra day off of work.
Although
rain
I
check,
did
nothing.
like that year we got rained out and we came back in November because that was awesome.
Yeah,
I
when we
didn't
came
come
back in
back,
November,
I
it was
watched it,
70.
It was
Yeah.
75 and sunny, and we raced. It was sweet.
Do you guys remember Pete McNell passing Kenny Tremont? Both cars had rooster tails coming off them in the small block race. I think it was the last of the series that Pete McNell won in a row. Like it was nasty.
No.
That would not happen today.
No, well,
Like this wasn't that long ago. I mean, we're in the last
Right.
6-7 years.
yeah. I mean, it's incredible. You know, the only thing today, I mean, I don't know how you could have gotten everything in. Maybe a shorter pre-race if you knew the rain was coming or something. But you know.
Yeah, I didn't think
Like
we
I
need
said to
7
him,
different national
you know,
anthem
I said to him
iterations.
though, I said one of my favorite parts of the day is still the driver introductions. I do love that part.
Well, it's always
you know?
special.
Really?
I do. You know,
I remember you making fun of driver introductions.
I do.
For
It's
years.
Well,
I
no,
have.
I don't.
have.
You know
But
what?
you know
The
what,
thing
from-
is, though, is that those driver introductions he was making fun of. I don't think it was actually the driver's
No,
introduction. It was the
no,
person doing the
it's
driver's
person
introduction.
doing it. Totally different. Totally different.
It's always special here, and I get that, the driver introduction and all the things that they do with the pre-race. But I do think that they knew this was coming, and they should have sped it up.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
I mean, you do
They
what you
could have
can.
gotten more laps. In
Yeah,
this
you do
race.
what
I'm
you-
not saying they would have finished it, but
Right.
they could have got more in.
I enjoyed the voices they used this year.
Oh, I thought the
I
people.
thought the talent they used was good. I didn't
no,
miss
I have
Ozzy not being
nothing-
here. I'm not gonna lie.
I like Danny Martin. Does a great job down in Lebanon Valley, and
Yep.
he did a great job doing the driver introductions. You know, and that was why I said I wish we should hear more of them.
But everyone they used understands modified racing.
That's
And
the
that
key.
wasn't always the
No,
case
and
in
that's-
years
Right.
past.
You know, my favorite thing of the whole weekend is, I will say this, that I did not hear Mr. Freeze, Stuart Friesen, because that irritates me.
I heard it once or twice.
But-
That's the lamest nickname.
That's not his nickname, really, is
I
it?
don't know. I thought the Terminator ranked right up there.
Oh, Gary
Yeah.
Tompkins, Terminator.
Yeah. He's one of the most mild-mannered dudes you ever get to see or hear about. You know.
Yeah. Just don't talk to him about sail panels.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
That
Oh, yeah.
conversation goes nowhere in a hurry.
Oh, he hates sail panels. It's awesome. I love every minute of it. You know how I am.
I wanted to see him make some money this weekend.
Yeah, I want to see it. You know, guys like that. You want to see the lower buck teams do well. I mean, you look at the rundown. For the most part, it was the guys you expect to be up front. There's no real shocks when it comes to say the top 10. I mean,
Donnie Carella shocks me. I don't even know how he got into the show, and I don't dislike Donnie. But every time I saw Donnie Carella, he was
Right
struggling.
here, this clown right here is the world's biggest Donnie Carella fan.
really,
Did he
That- you
not
know what makes
struggle
that
all
so
week
much
long,
better?
though? He really didn't get up to it. He didn't get up to a
Dude,
whole lot
Adam,
of
you and I are not alone, dude. I don't know how the hell he got in the race either.
10 cars to get in this race.
All right,
he has
yeah.
10 cars.
He
to
earned
win.
it. I mean, give him that. He had to work to get there.
Started 20th and finished 10th.
There
All
you go.
right, all right.
Good in a 20-lap race.
No, yeah, and I'm not. I don't mean to disrespect him. It just so happened every time I looked up, the 57 had a problem.
Yes.
The 50
He was
and
in and
maybe
out
it
of
was
pits
the
all
small
day.
block race. And
He
how
got
wrong?
He got laps back, twice?
You got
The free
the
pass?
dog twice.
How wrong is it that Donnie Carella shared a tent with Kenny Tremont? What is wrong with the world when a Carellas and a Tremont are in the same pit?
I know, that's because of Reifenberg.
I don't care what it's because. Like, it's
Yeah,
like
that-
the Wile
that
E.
would've
Coyote
never-
having
yeah,
lunch
that
with the
never
road
would have
runner.
happened 30 years ago.
Only you bring.
I'm
it.
glad they both have great sponsors there, but that's just not right.
Yeah.
Tommy's
Yeah.
not around, that's why.
That would have been like Jack and David.
Or Jack
or
and CD.
Jack and CD.
Jack and CD sharing a
sharing a
tent.
tent. Yeah, you just don't do that.
So
You
that
know.
would be my surprise if we looked.
Yeah,
down.
I mean,
The
you look
Donnie-
at anything
Donnie did
else.
pretty
I mean,
good.
hey, the best Lebanon Valley car was obviously Brett Hearn, but going down through the list, Eddie Marshall, not bad, 11th place run.
He's always solid.
Eddie passed a lot of cars Friday night because he
Yeah.
was in the pits at the start of that race. He brought out one of the yellows,
Right.
And man, he just pick off a car here, pick off a car there. Quietly did a good job.
And looking at who didn't do much, Tyler Seary ran one lap, finished 45th, 44th. Wow. Chad Holman, the win in urine guy, got 6 laps in.
That win in your end's got to go.
Oh, the biggest thing.
You don't like winning urine?
So what? So we can have starting parks like NASCAR? NASCAR wants to not have starting
Well,
parks.
more times
and
than
we
not.
run a race so we can have a starting
More
park.
times than not, that's all it is. Because if the guy really wanted to run this race, he'd be here.
Here's
Right.
what you should do. Here's what you should do. Have a race the night before at Rolling Wheels. If you win, you get to sell your starting spot. And you come in here and have an auction.
There
I'll
you
tell
go.
you what, that
They
might
used
be
to
one
sell
of the-
starting
and it could
spots.
go to
You know,
charity.
I was talking to my no.
Forget charity. Give it to a
No,
team
you know
that
what? I was talking to my
wants-
dad. Me and my dad had this conversation. The last time he was here with Bob Reese. Nice job, Adam. Way to go. Way to have your phone go off in the middle of the show. Because we never do that, right?
You mean Charleston Four Corners, Bob
Yes,
Reese?
Bob Reese, the Syracuse Flyer was his nickname.
Yeah, I know.
My dad worked with him. They
Number
made the
3,
show,
man.
and a guy offered him a certain amount of money to sell the spot, and he's like, "Yep."
Right.
He came to my dad and said, "Hey, what do you think?" I'm like, my dad's like, "Take the money, dummy." Now, are you going to get that? Probably not nearly as much.
If this wasn't so important,
Oh, what do you got?
Bill Tuvey, who are the people we talked about who camped next to us,
Yes.
just came to the media center with your Thanksgiving dinner. They are waiting for you.
Uh-oh.
That's
geez.
urgent.
That is urgent.
Where's ours?
I
Listen, let's not.
Yeah, come
Listen,
on.
whoa,
Why you
whoa,
gotta
whoa,
do that?
whoa. I'm pretty sure I've been to that party. I'm okay. I'm on that list of you guys.
Were you with us last year when we got macaroni and cheese?
We got
in
everything
turn
last
one?
year.
No, different.
Oh, no, I
different
wasn't
area.
there. No,
That
the only
might have
thing,
been me and Clint.
the thing that I normally get is that Thanksgiving dinner. Then I end up over here with the Martins, and whatever we end up eating there, because God knows I got 8,000 things. One year we had bacon.
She made us
baconators.
You need bacon cheese. Well, yeah, because we had a bacon,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
she made us one.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I
It's
love,
awesome.
I love Dirt Week.
I
What were we
love-
talking about? Was there a race?
I
today?
don't
No,
know.
there
You were
wasn't a
talking
race.
about you started to talk about the bottom of the list. I think the big story in the bottom of the list for order of finish today is Stewie.
Yeah, Stewie breaking a drive shaft.
42nd.
42nd place finish. That killed my fantasy team.
I took him in the pool today. That killed me too.
Yeah.
When I don't know, like an idiot. I wasn't taking him, and at the last second, I changed my mind. 'Cause
Yeah.
I told myself to win this race
Three times in a
very,
row.
very difficult. It's
Well,
probably not likely.
You know what? Looking at my fantasy team, John,
But then I changed my mind at the last second.
I got 33rd, 34th, 36th, and 42nd, and second and third.
Well, for my thing,
Yeah, I'm not doing so
yeah,
well.
you sucked.
I did suck it.
That's all right.
Big
I only
time.
had 5 guys in the race because I took freaking Mario.
Last year he had Maddie. The year before he had Maddie. The year
Yeah.
before that he had.
Somebody's got some fuel.
Is that the way you're supposed to transport fuel?
That
Pretty
is-
sure.
Two drums on the back
When you
of the
read-
golf cart, one on the
One on
front.
the front. That's so it's balanced.
No
When you
matter
read
where you get hit.
I
the
did
fuel
learn.
transportation guidebook says that's the preferred way of doing
Yeah,
it.
I did learn though. If somebody's sitting like that in a golf cart, make sure you tell them that you're going to turn and don't just turn.
Oh,
Ask Tina about
oh,
that.
yeah. Oh, that got ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't.
Yeah,
good.
so-
You're a jerk.
All right, so I'll recap here one more time. We'll talk about the whole day, and then what do you think? Where are we at time wise?
We're already over an hour.
Okay, so I just talked about the big blocks: Brett Hearn, Matt Shepard, Jimmy Phelps, Justin Ayers, Pat Ward. 113 laps was run. Looking at the Sportsman Championship, Rocky Warner, how about it, picking up the win
From 11th.
Matthew Desjardins, Cody McPherson, Chris Herberson, Jimmy Spellman, the top 5 there.
Race of the week.
Race of the week.
At Syracuse, the sports.
I
race was easy.
didn't see it,
no
unfortunately, but I heard it was good reading the Twitter updates. And then the Pro Stock Championship, Pete Stefanski, Joey Laudicer, Rocky Warner, Rock Albin, and Robbie Yetman, the top 5 there.
Can I brag a little bit?
Go for it.
Go ahead.
Every year I pick 2 drivers for each race because
Yeah, you said this in the media. You said this is
one driver isn't enough, but I did it in writing.
Okay.
This year I only took 1 driver for each race. T-Mac Saturday, Brett Hearn Sunday. I want to toot my own horn a little bit. I
Did
was
you-
feeling
Yeah.
it.
Did you call a rain
You notice
delay,
how he
too?
said he's going to toot his horn
No.
a little bit? Yeah, he toots his horn every day.
Keeps
Why-
you fresh.
Yeah, in case you're fresh. Yeah, it's
Keeps
not
you
a fresh.
invigorated.
Never mind that. I want to know why the hell you're carrying a horn around.
You know what?
Who the hell
No, he
carries
doesn't
a
carry a
horn?
horn. He carries a cream pie. Come on.
After the
What are you in the circus?
the other night, one of those little snack cakes
Hey,
they had.
speak of the devil, Mike.
Oh,
I don't know what
joined
they
us.
used for snack cakes,
golf cart.
but they needed something for the redraw,
Yeah.
so they were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the back of these snack cakes up at Leechport in the tower, and they were taking bets on who's the first moron that's going to come in and take one of our snack cakes. Doesn't Tom Deary come in, sit down? Oh, tasty cakes. No, don't. You just ate the pole position.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Now that's the story right there.
that was
that's,
great. Yeah, I mean, how do you follow that up?
I don't think you can. I don't think you can.
These guys, as much as they get, like people jerk on their chains a lot. They're good. They're pretty good cats. You take any one of them individually: Tom Deary, Chris Dolak, Jeff Hockman, Joe Scott. These guys.
Oh, we have fun. I mean, we were having fun out here Friday. You know, I walked up to Joe and just started busting his chops. You know, and it's fun. He gives it right back, and it's
Yep.
fun.
Yep.
You know, and that's the good thing about that.
I wish
you know?
more people saw that side.
Yeah,
of
it's hard though. You know, people see they have that one side of you that they see, and they don't see all the different sides. There's an official side to you, and there's the
Yeah.
have fun hanging out
outside.
Yeah,
I
and
had
that's
a
different.
chance to talk to Brian Carter for a couple of minutes at Wheatsburg on Wednesday night when I was at the gate because he come through the gate. And when I saw him, I introduced myself, and I told him, the first thing I asked him is, do you still have your midget? And he lit right up. We didn't even talk about the program that night. We talked about the Chili Bowl because he goes to Chili Bowl and races in it every year. He has his own midget at home.
He does fairly poorly.
His wife is bugging him to sell it, though.
Really?
Because his sister, 364 days a year, he only runs it one night a year. So
that's all you need to
Well,
run
look
it.
at all these Syracuse cars. The ones that didn't get tore up, they're getting put
all
in the
put right back
shop.
in the garage and we'll run it next year.
he told me he's contemplating selling it and buying a boat because she told him to go out, just sell it and go out and buy another toy, a toy that you can use more often. So he's contemplating to sell it and get a boat. So
Life is good.
At least you gave him permission to get another toy.
Hey, don't forget, those who are listening on live at home, we are live every Thursday night at 7:15 on FingerLakes1.tv or the31stlap.com. You got to remind people of that. We always forget to, to say that.
We've done none of that all
week long. We've done a terrible job of telling people
Thankfully,
where we're
the sign's
at.
got 31stlap.com, and I guess we're working on a syndication deal.
Well, now that I've been. What's the matter with you?
Me?
All summer long, I would love to feature 31st Lap on Dirt Track
Oh, here it comes.
Digest,
Blame me.
But I
He's
won't
gonna
do
blame
it.
I can't even.
I don't have permission.
Whoa. Hang on.
Oh, no. I only said, Adam, we'll work together. See what we're doing. Okay. And then I get nothing. So shut up. And don't tell me about updating, like putting it on the front page. I don't know how to do it. Every time I have to do something there, I call GT and say, hey, GT, how do you do this? And then I screw it up 3 times, and then he has to fix it.
You used to be useful.
Well, you went all crazy on me, this new WordPress
But now
crap.
Chris said, just put a link on there. That's all I wanted the whole time.
Yeah, I haven't been on all week because
but I don't always make the right decisions on stuff either. Why don't we table this? Let me get this stuff going. We've gone over, and it's becoming increasingly apparent that Brett Hearn isn't going to make it over.
Yeah, so we're good.
So.
You
got your dinner waiting for you anyway, so I don't want you to miss out on that. But we will definitely talk about this. We got. I don't even know really how to sum up the course of this week. We had a great time with all the travel. We were at Brewerton. We were here. We went to Rolling Wheels. We had 3 shows total yesterday. It's been an absolute ball. This is by far and away the most exhausting Super Dirt Week that I've had since 2005.
I'd agree.
And on top of that, you got stories done through the course of the week, and you still got 1 to do tomorrow morning.
No, I got 3 to do tomorrow.
You got 3 to do tomorrow. we got
yeah.
We got the stuff done for the Finger Lakes Times. We got them taken care of. We were in the Gator Racing News tent in their way all weekend long, and they were cool with that. And it was great having you come and chat. We'll talk a little bit about some of that stuff, but I think for everybody, you can understand that. I think we've covered everything from Super Dirt Week, and that is going to do it for
we're done.
This edition of the 31st Lap Live. Rich Pose, unfortunately, he couldn't finish the program with us. I don't know where he ended up wandering off to.
He said he had to go home. Actually,
he was on his way home, and so we got a hold of. I don't know, man. It was a crazy week. It was crazy fun.
We'll see you Thursday.
We are definitely going to see everybody again. Coming up here on Thursday. Again, we go live at 7:15 on FingerLakes1.com. Come on. There you go.